All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday, July 5th. Hopefully you guys are feeling a little better than me over here. It's a fun day, though. It was a heck of a weekend. Hope everybody out there had a great weekend as well. Talking baseball, nice to be back, Hoop. Nice 11-game slate. Pitching is, I don't know. It's pretty tough. I'm very curious to hear who you all like at pitcher. One guy stands in a tier of his own. Ownership will follow. After that, pretty up in the air. Hitting interest in the 11-game slate. Really only one weather game. It looks like the White Sox game, so monitor that. But before we get into that, very excited announcement. We did partner up with Drafters. We do have a promo code for you. It is SHIPIT. You get $100. You deposit $100. You get up to $100 deposit bonus as well. If you just do it on their site, you only get $50 back. So you get an extra 50%. Minimum deposit $20. Maximum deposit $100. Yes, I don't like talking about it too much myself, but I did ship the Drafters $250,000 last year. We did roll out the video as well, 15 minutes, gave a little basic strategy about it as well, but we talk in our Discord all the time. Any questions you want, you can hit me up in there. We'll have Drafters rankings up on our site as well. Marley and I are going to start rolling weekly videos as well for all of that. So Drafters, an awesome site, a little different than the other main sites as well. No bias over here, but I do like it. And even if it wasn't for that, I really do like their formats. Total points, not as much playoff stuff. You can survive some injuries where you can't late in there. But excited to bring you in, man. Again, SHIPIT is the promo code. How was your weekend? How was your 4th of July? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in recovery mode. I had a little bit of a stretch there. I mean, hit the Rocket Mortgage. Oh, my gosh, it was last Thursday. And a lot of food and drinks. And then Morgan Wallen the next night. And obviously that came with a lot of drinks. My birthday the next day, and then 4th of July. So I'm in full recovery mode. A lot of water, a lot of Propel today, just going down. No drinks for a while. I'm taking some time off. It was I know now almost 40. Hits a little different, Title. I know you're still young. When you get close to that 40 number, it hits a little different, but it was fun though. It was definitely fun. A lot of time with family and friends, which is most important. In terms of the Drafters promo, super excited. Obviously, we've kind of been working on this to get it going. When you came over, we knew it was just a natural partnership. The most humble $250,000 winner ever. I mean, Title did not. He knew down the stretch. He was very live last year. Didn't talk about it much. Kind of kept it close to his vest, and then gets the job done. And he's just a humble guy, but it was a very impressive win. And like you said, we'll be rolling out some videos talking strategy, you and Marley. It's going to be a lot of fun. I dabble a little bit, but more so in like the 3-man, 5-man, 10-man stuff. I'm not really, doing 150 teams in these big tournaments. So maybe I'll hop on and, talk some strategy in those contests. Because I do think there is an advantage in those as well. So we'll talk about, a ton of best ball stuff. It's, one of the fastest growing DFS sorts of contests out there, outside of the sports. We're seeing huge growth in MMA that we always talk about. Like they could increase the prize pools a ton in MMA. Still have no problem filling those up. PGA still seeing a lot of growth. People love the PGA sweat. Best ball, different type of format. People are loving that too. So we'll have you covered here. And we have the guy that won the biggest contest on Drafters last year in yourself Title. So we're excited to get that kicked off here pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And your first point you made about you're taking a little time off from the booze. You're lucky, man. I have one more day. It's Friday. I'm in town. I leave Wednesday. It's already planned. So I'm not looking forward to it. I'm lying to you, and then I'm taking a break with you as well.
Yeah.
It's not. And you're almost 40. Jay Steele goes right here. What do you say? Still so young, Hoop. Can't remember 40.
And Jay Steele's our guy.
Yeah, he is. And right there, Jay Steele also talked about it. You got me on Drafters today, Title. I like this cumulative scoring better. Absolutely, man. Again, I did very, very excited about that partnership. Got to say hi to some other people in chat too. Chris Austin, is that Drafters promo for first-time users only? Yes, it is, unfortunately. That's how all the sites do it, though. So first-time user, if you're not on Drafters, That is how you can use the promo code SHIPIT. Who do you got in chat today before we go? Pitching and game by game. Brian England's always in here. What's up, Brian? Bill, Beat Boz, Bump is in here. Mike Carr, Jay Steele, Gator Nation, Reezer, my man Donnie is in here. Danny, what's going on, man? Joe, Danny, not Donnie. Richie Smalls, already said your name. Dante is in here. What's going on again, Brian? All we ask from you on this show is the like button. When you do hit that like button, there's a big subscribe button next to it. Man, I take a couple days off. I'm gone. 1.92. That was a little more than I saw last time. I didn't see the 9 in there. We're making our push to 2,000 subscribers on the channel. We appreciate all the support. Takes 1 second out of your day. It's absolutely free and helps us out a ton. And if you're not a member, you do want to be a premium member at SHIPIT. If you want drafters rankings, if you want MMA content, if you want PGA content from Tambo and Hoop, that's starting tomorrow, or it's going up on the site. Locks tomorrow, MLB, all of that good stuff. You do need to be a member. Head over to shipitnation.com. No promos, but it's still the best deal in the industry. $59 a month, $599 a year. Make sure to get in the Discord as well. Do not think you will regret it. Al's in here as well. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's start pitching, though, Hoop. I'll say we can go 8.5K and above if you want to do that, because I don't know how much time we need to spend on some of these guys. We'll go Brian Bello and up. Pablo Lopez is definitely the guy in his own tier. On both sites, FanDuel did a better job pricing him up at 10.8K. Still by far going to be the highest owned pitcher. DK, not even the second highest priced. Justin Steele, 10.3K. So Danny and Chad talking about Justin Steele. I love picking on the Brewers. However, paying Pablo and Justin Steele both above 10K, you can't get all the bats you want. Touch on Steele, touch on Pablo Lopez. Cobb's up there. Singa's got upside. Barrios in a little bit of that weather spot. Let's go 8.5K and above.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start not at the top, the second spot with Lopez. I think he's just the clear number one. I mean, any projection site has him, at least 3 to 4 fantasy points above Steele. He's going to be highly owned. It's at home against KC. He's been pitching well. Very safe type option tonight with the upside too that you need for GPP. So I like him obviously in all formats. It's tough. I mean, if you want to fade like the chalk at pitcher day, it's like, where do you go, man? There's just not much there. There's really not. So Lopez for me, is number one. Steele, I'm fine within GPPs. I think he, if people are starting with Lopez, that's going to be their expensive guy, and then they're going to come down a little bit. So I think Steele's ownership is pretty low, and he's been solid in back-to-back starts, 27 fantasy points in both those games. So I'd be fine going to him. After that, it gets, pretty messy in a hurry. Senga, I think I like offense there better. Mets, Diamondbacks, I'd be on both of them. Barrios, I'm not going to get to. John Gray's a guy that I was playing a lot of, but man, he has not been great, and this is not a good spot. And like you said, it's the only game really with weather, it's the White Sox game that has weather concerns, but this is not a good spot. The total in this game is 10 with 2 respectable pitchers, Gray and Bello, who's been good, but the total at 10, I just don't think I can go there for Gray. Cobb seems a little bit overpriced at 8.6, but I could potentially play him because of the ballpark. They're in San Francisco. He's a pretty big favorite here against Seattle, coming in like right around -175, -180. But like, how much upside is there in Alex Cobb? We haven't seen a lot of it lately. So moderate interest in him. And then Bello, like we said, like that game, the total's sitting at 10, man. I just don't want to play pitchers in that game. So Lopez, Steele, and then maybe Cobb is how I'd kind of rank this upper tier.
Yeah, Andrew Martinez said Lugo. We'll get down there in a bit, but I'm in agreement for sure. What I'll say, no Senga for me. Steele is fine, but like the Steele Pablo Lopez pairings, you can definitely get there with some stacks. I mean, you'll have to leave out some top bats, but I don't think it's crazy. I like Alex Cobb for point per dollar, the price, and what I'm seeing ownership. Of course, he's going to get some, but this Mariners team, it's only 60 degrees in San Fran. If you're looking across the country today with a lot of games, 85, 90 degrees, balls will be flying. Good hitters parks on the slate too. Give me the pitcher's park and cool weather. Obviously, follow me. I like both of those things. I look at a lot. And this Mariners team, They do have pop, but that's going to be limited with the weather, with the stadium. And there's definitely strikeouts to be had in this lineup too. I don't love seeing the extreme hitters umpire behind the dish for him, but 5.5K prop, little about even money, 8.6K. Like you said, what kind of upside does he have? Don't love playing Alex Cobb for upside, but on this slate, you give me 15, 16, 17. I think Bats, one stack at least, is going to win pitching more so than a guy going out there and putting up 30 tonight. So I'm good with Alex Cobb. He's actually, when you're talking my favorite guy with ownership, with price and everything, Alex Cobb is my guy today. We'll go down in the lower range below him. We'll touch on all these guys. A lot of them aren't even playable, but I think people are going to go more Bobby Miller, more Seth Lugo, like Andrew Martinez just said, 8.3K, 7.9K. Lance Lim has tied for the second highest K prop on the slate. A pitcher's ump behind the dish. Definitely lets up power too, though. Again, that is the weather game that does have some delay risk, so monitor that. But I think Lynn, Bobby Miller, Seth Lugo is going to get the most ownership in this range. And then, man, if you look at it, I just go all the way down. I see we have one starter, Tommy Malone, all the way sitting there at min price, 4K. Again, on this slate, I think it was like last time I was on the show. I don't know if it was Thursday or whatever it was. Pitching was awful. We had a 4K guy. It was the San Fran guy. And it was like, get us 11 and you can live. It was Keaton Wynn. I mean, he has to be in my pool. There's expensive bats to play. You play Lopez, you play him, you have money to spend. Again, I like Cobb more. I like Lugo and that more. But, I mean, he might be 10% or something. So outside of them, I'm not really seeing too much hoop. Talk about some of your favorites below here. March at 5K too. Yeah, second start against the Twins as well. I think he's also in that boat. A lot of unknowns, but you can embrace variance on this slate.
Yeah, I think your point about expectation at pitcher and what we kind of want in terms of fantasy points is very important because, on a slate where we have a lot of high upside guys, we have, a ton of high upside strikeout pitchers, and you're probably going to need at least 40 combined. How you build your teams and which pitchers you're willing to play should be adjusted. This is a slate where we don't have a lot of those high upside guys. The upper tier is pretty watered down. So can we get by with like 30 at pitcher today? I think you can. I think we have a chance. So that's why I'm with you. I would be willing to go down to Tommy Malone at 4K. And honestly, if you're deciding between Marsh and Malone, I'd just go to Malone and save the $1,000. Prefer him. But this range in between these guys and the upper sevens, there's just not much in there. Like I like Lugo at 7.9. It's a fair price tag. He's at home, pitcher's ballpark, going up against the Angels without Mike Trout. I think that's the spot where I want to play the pitcher. So I'm in on him. The price is good. And then I really like Bobby Miller as well. Again, it's a slate where, man, can you get me 15, 16, 17 fantasy points? I think he can at home. Massive favorite. So can he go 5 innings, pick up 3 to 4 strikeouts, and get the win? I think he can here against the Pirates at home, where we expect the Dodgers to have some success. So in on Bobby Miller, in on Lugo, and then I'm fine just going all the way down to Malone. There's nothing in this middle. I don't want Bitto. I don't want Vasquez. Tommy Henry, I don't want. Sandoval, I don't want. There's just nothing for me in that range. So upper sevens, I like some of these guys. Bobby Miller, and then all the way down 4K punt for sure is where I'd be looking in this range.
Any thoughts on Lance Lynn? I did the weird 8.5 and above.
It's man, the weather does not look great there. I mean, it's looking like it's definitely going to rain. It's just a matter of how much. If we get the let me see,
If we get the green light,
if we get the green light, like Toronto has a powerful offense, but there's a lot of righties in there, and Lance Lynn's much better against righties. So I would be interested in if they say, all right, no problem, we're good to go, and we'll obviously have that info in the Discord.
For Lance Lynn, the weather definitely looks a concern, so I'm not even taking that risk as of now. But tied for the second highest K prop with Bobby Miller. I mean, I think stacking against Lynn definitely makes sense too, but on this slate, there is upside with him that others don't have. Jake, any interest in Kramer? He's wondering about you, Hoop. No Dean Kramer for me on this slate. But, hey, I guess my response to you, Jake, and then I'll let you talk about it, is if you have a lean on any of these guys today at pitcher, just play them. I mean, ownership probably going to be low owned. If we didn't talk about these guys right now like Kramer, that means he's going to be low owned. Pitching already stinks on this slate. Dean Kramer can get you a 15 if he's rolling. He's got 15 before. So I would say if you have a lean on someone that we didn't talk about, play him. I don't have any interest in him, though. What about you?
Yeah, not a bunch for me personally. 7.7K in Yankee Stadium, not a ton. But again, yeah, it's like a really bad pitching slate. So if you feel strongly about someone, definitely play them. And again, you got to shift your expectations a little bit where it's a slate. We don't have a ton of high upside guys. So if you think you can go out and get 15, 16 fantasy points, I'd definitely play him tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. And here he goes, Dante in here. I assume that is, I like it right there, the logo. One of your guys, he's rocking the championship hat. Did Atlanta get another championship 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks. So they did the tournament in Indiana. They fell a little bit short. So they're number 1 seed out of 16 teams, and we ended up losing in the semifinals. But it was a lot of fun. It's in Indiana, Grand Park. There's like 28 turf baseball fields. It was a really cool experience for the kids. It was a lot of fun. And
I can bring back memories when you had to travel and stay in a hotel and do all that good stuff.
They loved it. They had a blast.
Definitely moments you don't forget. Yeah, Brad Swin, hoop on an MMA heater. He's got to pass some juju to me. He ain't close, but this man, every single week, shipper. So I didn't even congratulate hoop on this show. It was so long ago.
And I've said it all along. Like, I don't, for MMA, I don't go and read content all across the industry. I exclusively read your content. And it's now here at SHIPITNation.com. I mean, I built my teams off of your content and now Marley's content. Watch the show. I know the top end guys. I know, Volkanovski. I know all those guys. I know like 4 fighters on every card. Okay. And then the rest of them, it just looks like a bunch of letters put together. So I read honestly your content and now Marley's, and that's how I've had all my success. I mean, it's 3 straight weeks of basically crushing. And then, the story, the 2 weeks before that, just some really bad run. Like I was in line to just ship again. I think it was an eye poke or a headbutt or something. The fight gets called off.
It was the Imavov Chris Curtis. Hoop had the shipper with Imavov.
Yes. And then the week before it was the Francis Kai, the terrible decision. I mean,
Albazi, Kai Kara France, who also got robbed from that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it should have been 5 weeks in a row and literally exclusively using your content at SHIPITNation.com. And that's not like me trying to promote this, the product that we have. That's the dead honest truth.
And I will say, you can get Hoops Core on the site, though, that he puts up since he does play every week. And he has been smashing. So, with Reese in here looking to join, we'd love to have you. Yeah, you need projections in the industry. We got them. We got tools. We got Discord. Got Core Play, all that, cash reports, play cash games. No better deal in the industry. Want to hear who pronounces winning lineup? Yeah, me too.
Drawing dead. If I ship this week, I'll come back on and I'll go through and just give my best effort on the team.
Well, it could be like Bo Nickel. It could be a couple easy. Volkanovski, you can do it.
Could have a couple freebies mixed in this week.
Yeah. So we'll get back. We'll close out our thoughts on pitching. So my thoughts is people are going to go Pablo Lopez. He's by far head and shoulders above everyone else. Then I think the popular pairing will probably be somewhere in that Lugo, Bobby Miller range, which I don't mind one bit, but I think Cobb will be lower than both of those guys, which makes me like Cobb more than Miller, more than Lugo. Again, I love the park. I love the colder weather. No Senga for me. Barrios in that weather. Yeah, I'm good with Justin Steele too against Milwaukee. If you're playing a ton of lineups, like I don't think Pablo Lopez by any means just like a lock and load. I don't think you're crazy for doing that, but if you wanted to go pivot to Steele in that way, you eat more chalk at bats, I don't think it's crazy. But I love Alex Cobb right at 8.6K. And then I don't mind Lugo. I don't mind Bobby Miller. But I think just if you skip that range and you go all the way down, Tommy Milone or Alec Marsh, I'll take a shot on Marsh. Vegas, 4.5K prop, good amount of juice on the over. And I missed it. Extreme Pitchers umpire behind the dish, Phil Cuzzy. Sign me up for an Extreme Pitchers umpire. I love looking at those little things that can sway me on a harder pitching slate. He's not going to be very high owned either. So I kind of don't mind just if you're playing only a couple teams, fading that Bobby Miller, Seth Lugo range, just going up and then going either all the way down or Alex Cobb. That's how I'm going to rank pitchers. So we're going to say, I'll say top 3 hoop, no Pablo Lopez. I'm going to go Alex Cobb 1. Point per dollar. I don't know if I want to go Steele there since I love Lopez so much. And I'll probably just go Alec Marsh, Tommy Milone. I'll just say that. But I do really like Pablo Lopez. He's obviously 1 for me. What are your thoughts at pitcher, though? There's multiple tiers. We broke it down. Give your final thoughts.
It's a tough one for pitcher. I guess like Bobby Miller, Steele, and then Lugo. But you did sell me a little bit more on Cobb. So I think Cobb's a little bit more up the list for me as well. So maybe he's like 3B.
And I also, what I like to do, I head over to these pitcher rankings. I'm not going to give anything out for free, but Alex Cobb is at least top 5 on the pitcher rankings. Boomer's done a great job over here on slates like this. Go over the pitcher rankings, check it out, see what projections, all of that. Use all the content, incorporate it. Hoop's got his slate plan and stuff up on the site as well. Last thing, would you do this, Hoop? Andrew Martinez, Marsh Malone, and pay up for bats.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm fine doing some crazy stuff at pitcher, but that's just like a little bit too crazy. Like there's and I know the good bats are expensive. Like the Braves are a very expensive stack, which we'll get to when we talk about it. So
$5,125 you have for the rest of your bats, though. There's enough cheap. I mean, Jaron Duran right there, one of the more popular guys in the slate. Bat and leadoff, one of the highest totals. He's 2.9K or something. Yeah. So there's always cheap bats. I wouldn't go that way yet. But
I can't do that. That's a little too extreme.
Hey, good question, though. Good question, no doubt. Andrew Martinez always in here asking good questions. So that is pitching on this slate. It's an interesting one for sure. But Pablo Lopez, he could come in 75, 80% in tournaments. I wouldn't be shocked on this slate. We'll go game by game. Like always, again, we do appreciate if you hit that like button for us. Hit that subscribe button. Hope everybody had a great weekend, a 4th of July weekend out there. But I'm excited to get back to the grind. Let's go game by game, Hoop. First game of the night, Yankee Stadium, Baltimore Orioles, New York Yankees, Dean Kramer, and this Randy Vasquez guy. I don't know how many innings. Yeah, I mean, I guess 5 innings last time, 4 innings. I don't know much about this Randy Vasquez guy. I'm not going to really get to these Orioles as much. If you know a little more, you let me know. But 90 degrees in Yankee Stadium, 85, 90 degrees. Don't think it's crazy. There's a lot of good hitting weather on this slate throughout, though. I don't know, mixed emotions. I definitely like the Yankee side more. They're cheap on FanDuel, way more expensive on DK, but it'll keep their ownership lower on DK. Dean Kramer can let up power, and balls are going to be flying there. So I like the Yankee side in tournaments. I don't know as much about this Baltimore pitcher, so I'm not going to talk about that as much. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, 2 offenses. I mean, they're not going to be in anyone's like top 5 offenses on the slate. We have like the Braves, we have the Dodgers, we have that Boston game that is a team total of 10. So you come here, you're going to be, pretty low owned. And I can see the case, I guess. You can make the case for both of these offenses. You're building 150 teams. I would definitely want some exposure here. If you're hand building, I think I'd stick to maybe 3-man stacks. Prefer the Yankee side a little bit more. Rizzo, Stanton, you get Bowers for dirt cheap, batting 4th. So I'd focus on, probably 3-man stacks on the Yankee side. The Baltimore side, I could play a couple of these guys, but the problem is they're pretty darn expensive. Like Gunnar Henderson's now 4.7K, Rushman 5.3, Santander 4.7, Mullins 4.9. Like you're paying a premium for them. And if you are going to play Lopez and another, high-end pitcher, it's going to be hard to get to them. So I think I actually prefer the Yankee side here just because of the cheap type bats you can get with Bowers. Even Donaldson's pretty cheap, but I still would prefer probably 3-man stacks over 5. If you're building 150 lineups, I don't mind getting some exposure to both sides. They should be relatively low owned as a whole stack because of the other very appealing spots on the slate.
Yeah, I like it. Someone asking about this Colton Cowher guy, anyone min price, he's 2K. Well, you can definitely play anyone that's min price. It helps your stacks if you're paying up. But looking at some of his minor league numbers, not really much pop. Yeah, he doesn't look more of hits for average, not much pop, not even too many 16 stolen base one. What I'm pretty much looking at is, I don't know how good this guy's going to be. So 2K though, I don't really care how good he is. I mean, it's what it does for the rest of your roster.
Correct.
So. Yep. But no, it doesn't look like he's got a bunch of upside, hits for power, anything like that. It is 85 degrees in Yankee Stadium, though. Definitely other spots I like more. An 11-game slate. Mini stacks are fine. I prefer the full Yankee stack. We know more about Kramer than Vasquez, but we'll keep it going to another warm game, as a lot of these are in the heart of summer. Cincinnati Reds, Washington Nationals, Graham Ashcraft, Josiah Gray on the mound. About 90 degrees in Washington. Man, and when we love playing teams in Washington in the summer, the balls fly. It is warm. Josiah Gray, he's a decent arm. But these Reds, pretty expensive. So I don't know how 5-man stacking him would go. They're going to be low owned, I think, because of it, though, as a 5-man stack. As far as these Nats against Ashcraft, a lot cheaper. I prefer that side because it makes other things work. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, really the same exact mindset here. So, I mean, if you're deciding between the previous game and this game, I definitely prefer getting exposure to the Reds and Nationals over Orioles and Yankees. The problem on the Red side is you don't get any price breaks. I mean, all the way from top to 8th spot in their lineup, everyone's $4,600 or above. And that makes it very hard. The cheapest guy, Will Benson, $3K batting 9th. It's a hard team to full stack. I mean, it really, really is. There's no price breaks in here. So I think that maybe, lowers their ownership a little bit more. But overall, it's going to be hard to stack the Reds. The Nationals, though, you can do a lot with this lineup because of the price tags. Everyone relatively cheap except, Lane Thomas at 5K, Garcia 3.1, Candelario 3.7, Joey Meneses 3.4K. This is a really good team to complement an expensive stack. So if you're going to play the Dodgers or the Braves tonight, like this 3-man, whoever it is in this lineup, and I think you can play, I think just about everyone I'd be fine playing because they're all so cheap. Dickerson even at 2.5K. So yeah, I'd play this whole lineup. I think it's great complement stack, a great 3-man stack to go with the Dodgers or go with the Braves. So cheap. I like the Reds, but man, I don't know how you stack them. It's expensive. And there's no price break. So you're going to have to go cheap at pitcher to stack the Reds tonight. And I don't know if I'm going to do that because I like the other expensive stacks a little bit more.
Yeah, everything we're saying, if people are out there man, because they're going to be low owned, they're hard to stack, all of this stuff, that makes it more appealing in GPPs, no doubt. I don't think as many people will go 5-man. And this is maybe where you can go Lopez, Tommy Malone all the way down there, or the 5K guy, and then spend up for the 5-man. You can just game stack it. You go to the other side of the game, get 3 bats that are sub 3K, 5 Reds. I don't think it's the craziest thing. I just like others in a vacuum more. I respect Josiah Graham, and I've played him multiple times. He does have K upside. He can let up some power. So it'd probably be Ellie would definitely be my favorite right there. Man, Joey Votto at 5.1K is crazy. He has been hitting it though. Fraley, I'd probably like the 4-5, Friedel up top, something like that. But yeah, it is very hard to stack 5-man. We'll keep ownership down. I prefer the Nats just because of the prices. Like you said, though, 2 first basemen, I'd prefer Dom Smith in the 5-hole over Meneses, save 800, get the platoon advantage. But yeah, I think you can play Nats 1 through 9 too. I like them more as a secondary 3-man. Fill it out with your expensive bats, or if you're double spending a steal, Pablo Lopez, you can play Nats there, and it makes things easier. So yeah, someone said they wish the game was in a Great American Ballpark. Definitely a little better, but it's still nice in Washington too. But ball will be flying, no doubt about that. Keeping it rolling. Again, like button, subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox, John Gray, Brian Bello, Fenway, 80 degrees. Ball's also going to be flying out here. We know about Bello, though. He's very boomer bust. The man can have control problems. He's been better, little better with it as of late. These Rangers, you get expensive bats at the top of the order, get some cheap bats, a couple of them down low, but a lot of this part of the stack is expensive, 1 through 6, all 4.6K or higher. I prefer the Boston side. John Gray has not been as good as the old John Gray. This Red Sox team, you get Jarren Duran, 2.8K bat and leadoff. To be honest, if I did stack this team, though, in tournaments, I probably would rather leave him off. He's fine if you do it, but, man, he's going to be so much higher owned than the rest of this stack. Leaving him off or just doing little things like that can help you differentiate. Love Rafi Devers, Yoshida right there in the 2-hole. Give me any of these guys. Connor Wong in the 9-hole to fill out a catcher position. Full punt to shortstop pretty much at David Hamilton. Arroyo's right there at a second base position. I love how the positions match up. Salaries work. They got big bats. I like some of these Boston guys. Fenway, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely prefer the Boston side for a couple of reasons. Bello's been pretty good, and the Rangers are very expensive. If you play the Rangers, you want Corey Seager, you want Semien. Well, that's 5.9K and 6.2K. You want Adolis Garcia, 5.7K. The guys you want to play are very expensive. Makes it hard. So I'm going to hope that Bello, at least limits them a little bit to where they don't absolutely go off. The scary part is obviously the total in this game. That's sitting at 10, which is very high. So I don't think I'll have a lot of the Rangers tonight. I will have some Red Sox, though, because they are easier to stack. And I do agree. If you're hand building, Duran's going to be very popular for sure. So, you can go to the bottom and play Wong or I don't even care. David Hamilton's shortstop eligible. Know nothing about him. He's 2.2K. Be totally fine playing him in my stack. Christian Arroyo, 2.7K. So it's a good team to get creative with on your stacks. It makes it easier if you're coming here to stack them. But Duran's the guy that's going to be very popular at the top, and a lot of these other guys have upside. And honestly, the price on Devers, 4.9 is a good price tag on Devers. So definitely prefer the Boston side. I don't think I'm going to have a ton of the Rangers.
Yeah, Devers too. Like if you stack the Red Sox, leave out Devers and Duran, we're not saying to do that necessarily, but you definitely will get it'll be very unique in a Boston stack. Again, if you are stacking them, though, the full 5-man, it's an 11-game slate. There's other teams that'll have higher ownership. I'm not saying make a rule X them out in your stack, but just know Devers and Duran are going to be carrying way more ownership than the rest of this lineup. We'll keep it going, though. 11 games, a lot to break down. Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Guardians. This game's still 5 minutes after lock. Soroka and Cal Quantrill on the Mike Soroka, Cal Quantrill on the mound. It's warm, 85 degrees. Soroka, he looked good last time out. 6 innings, 22 DK points, 7 Ks. He threw like 95 pitches or something. So he's finally back. He was hurt beginning of the year on the IL. These Guardians, if they beat me is how I see it. There's not much pop in the lineup, 11-game slate. Easy there, but talk about these Braves, one of the highest totals on the slate. Acuna's 6.7K, but he still is going to be one of the more expensive, popular bats. The dude is absolutely on a different level right now. Power, speed, upside he's got. So what are your thoughts? Braves, how would you stack them? Any Guardians?
Yeah, so stacking the Braves used to be a little bit easier because you go to the bottom and get some price breaks on guys. You could play, Rosario for somewhere in the 3K range. Same with Ozuna. Well, DraftKings has adjusted all these guys way up, so it is hard, and that's kind of the reason why I'm not as high on teams like the Rangers and the Reds, because if I'm going to find a way to play an expensive stack, it's going to be the Braves and a team that we talk about later. I mean, this team, tons of upside. It will be hard if you want to play Pablo Lopez and even like an upper 7K range guy. It is going to be hard to stack the Braves, but I'm going to find a way to do it. Ozuna, Rosario are key pieces to that. Obviously, you want Acuna here. The price, 6-7 is a big boy price tag, but man, it is just he's on a whole different level, like you said. So I'm in on the Braves. Have to be in these spots. Just a matter of how much when I go to build teams and what does that look like for my pitchers. That's probably why I like Pablo Lopez, but I might not end up getting as much of him as I think I'm going to get. So definitely in on the Braves. I agree with you on the Guardians, man. Like if they beat me on a slate, they beat me. It's just there's no upside here. There's just nothing. Jose Ramirez, sure, you want to play him, do it, but I recommend doing it as a one-off. There's just not many slates where you look back and say, damn, you needed the Guardians to win. So out on them.
Yeah, and if you want Jose Ramirez, well, you're paying 5.8K. Like a lot of other spots, he's going to be very, very low owned because of it. A one-off like him, 1%, something like that. But like Devers is 900 cheaper. You can find 900. You want Acuna. Like there's just so many big bats. He's going to be very low owned, rightfully so. But yeah, I'm with you. No Guardians for me. The Braves totally get it. So you that's what you'd see Seth Lugo and Bobby Miller pairing or something like that. And then you can use the Nats as a secondary 3-man that we talked, or some of those Boston bottom of the order guys to fill out a catcher, second base position like that. So I'm with you. When you compare the Braves to the Rangers or these other expensive stacks, definitely on the side of the Braves. Cal Quantrill, no good. Not a good bullpen behind as well. So yeah, give me the Braves. 85 degrees, ball will be flying. No doubt about that. We'll keep it rolling. Again, but we appreciate it. If you're not a member at SHIPITNation.com, no better deal out there. We got golf rolling up starting tomorrow. Big MMA card this week. Monster prize pools. Baseball, of course. Hoop slate plan already up. Hamwich, G Rising. You play cash games. I got the cash report up as well. And then in the Discord, knowledgeable members talking all the time. General discussion. I got to shout out Pickett. His name is. If you go on the Discord, general discussion right now. Wimbledon's going on. Really big in tennis. This guy is helping a lot of members make a lot of money in there. A lot of people are thanking him. His favorites, favorite dogs, top scorers, stuff like that. And DFS production. He does League of Legends. We got guys in there like Izzy dropping NASCAR stuff. So we only put out in our Discord the exact sports we cover, what we have experts for. But in that general discussion part, I'm not sure if everyone knows this in Discord. Go there, other sports like them. These guys are very knowledgeable and have done pretty good there. So I want to shout out Pickett. He's been grinding Wimbledon in the general discussion. Keeping it rolling. Still a good amount of games left on this slate. Big boy slates. Kansas City Royals, Minnesota Twins, Alec Marsh, Pablo Lopez. That Alec Marsh, he's the 5K guy making his second start. I'll definitely take a chance on him because, again, he's 5K in the nature of this slate. But the Twins do have a pretty healthy total. Curious to hear your thoughts there. A lot of cheap bats in this order you can get to. As far as the Royals, yeah, I mean, the ultimate game theory leverage play, but not on this 11-game slate. If it was a 4-game slate, I think you can make a better case for it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the Royals, it's just the lineup. It's like, man, who would you even really want to play? There's a couple names like Witt and Melendez and Salvador Perez, but their team total's under 3. I'm just not seeing it. Like, no thanks. Twins have actually been hitting the ball a little bit, scoring some runs. Pretty good spot. Marsh is going to get some ownership too, so definitely interested in the Twins. I think like Joey Gallo batting 8th, 3.3K. People don't like going to the bottom of the order. I really like him as one-off or part of a 3-man stack. Max Kepler's cheap. Julian batting 2nd's cheap. There's a lot of different ways to stack this team, and they are cheap. Another team where I think you can 5-man or play them as a 3-man stack with some of these other expensive stacks. If you want to play the Braves or the Dodgers or even teams I don't love, the Rangers, you come here, you get 3 bats, mid 2 point, under 3K that are offer some upside. So yeah, I'm good with the Twins, all the way through here.
I like it. We're going to keep it rolling. Next game on the slate. This is the weather game. It definitely looks way more concerning for pitcher. I don't know. Maybe it is concerned for bats. You can touch on that hoop. But Blue Jays, White Sox, Berrios, Lance Lynn. Man, like Lance Lynn, I think playing him if this game, of course, if we're acting like it's all good to go, playing Lance Lynn, tied for the second highest K prop, chasing upside on a slate that lacks upside. I don't think it's the craziest, but definitely gives up a bunch of power. And this Blue Jays lineup does have power top to bottom. You should get some salary relief. I don't know if the lineup came out since we've been on the show. Yep, 6 minutes ago it did come out. So let's see here. Yeah, you still get value down below. Kiermaier, Danny Jansen, fill out a catcher position, Biggio. But you do have to pay if you want to play. Brandon Belt's sitting right there in the 3-hole. He'll definitely be popular at 3K. But the Bichettes, the Springers, Other World, you can't. You can play on DK. Belt first base and outfield eligible. Vladdy just first base, and FanDuel you have the util spot. So you can stack this team any way you want. Talk about bats wise. Does this game seem risky for that way, not just delay? And what are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I think it does play. I think it's a little more risky for pitchers, obviously. So I think they do get it in. A lot of times they do. I mean, even if it looks bad, they usually find a way to get it in. But the fact that there is weather here is going to keep these offenses low owned. I think the Blue Jay stack, great leverage situation, especially if you're building a lot of teams. If you're building 150, it's not going to take much to get over the field when you look at it. Lance Lynn's going to get ownership, or people respect Lance Lynn at least. He'd get more ownership without this weather situation, but people think he's good. And we have weather too, which is going to lower the ownership. But when Lance Lynn is off, he typically gets rocked and gives up a lot. So I'm interested in the Blue Jays. Has to be very low owned stack, especially if you're doing 150 teams. Then I'm not messing with the White Sox. It's just definitely not for me here.
Yeah, Berrios has been better as of late. Again, if it's a bullpen game though, that's what's taking me off a little bit. Just say rain's going to come in 30 minutes and you get 2 innings of Lance Lynn and then it's bullpen on both sides. It could go both ways. You jump on the bullpen early, you get all the worst arms. I assume it's warm here. It's going to be very humid after the rain. So I do prefer the Blue Jays guaranteed 9th inning at bats. There's other spots on this. There's other spots I like more on this slate, but yeah, especially with weather, totals, all this. If you get a 5-man stack at either of these two teams, they are definitely going to be very low owned. Keep it rolling. We got 5 games left and pretty much 4 because this one's as easy as it gets for me. Chicago Cubs, Milwaukee Brewers, Justin Steele, Adrian Hauser on the mound. I ain't playing these Brewers, no chance. And as far as these Cubs against Hauser, so many better spots. Easy pass for me. What do you got?
Same. Next.
4 games. Los Angeles Angels, San Diego Padres, Patrick Sandoval, Seth Lugo on the mound. 8 total, 70 degrees in San Diego. I like these early games on the East Coast and the Midwest a lot more than some of these later games out West personally. So it'll be a little quicker for me. I got nothing. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, nothing on the Angels side. No Trout, maybe no Ohtani. Like, it's just a clear pass for me. I do have interest in the Padres, though. Sandoval, I just don't think he's very good in this Padres lineup. It's a powerful one, so I don't think we're going to see much ownership. A lot of upside, top to bottom. Gary Sanchez batting 7th, I think, stands out as a good tournament play. And then obviously Tatis, Kim would be like my main targets, but I don't think there's going to be much ownership here. Their team totals not in that 5.5 range like a lot of these other teams, which I think keeps their ownership in check. But I do have interest here in the Padres.
Yep, the Padres will be low 0-2. And here we go. Bill notes, no Cowser is Baltimore's top prospect. Know that exactly, Bill. Give us, if you got any like a sentence or two you want to drop on him, we appreciate that information. I know Andrew Martinez is still sitting here in chat, and the Baltimore is going to be low 0-2. I don't care if he's a top prospect, the worst prospect. 2K, what it does, my
2K,
lineup works. But knowing he is a top prospect, definitely a little bump there.
Makes it a little more fun, right? I mean, you play him at 2K, you're just punting it off, but the fact that he's a top prospect, you feel a little bit better about that punt.
Exactly. So, I appreciate that, Bill. Got to get back in the swing of things in baseball. It's been a long weekend. I did not know who that was. Appreciate your help in chat. A lot of people out there, certain things we don't. We always appreciate your help. We're not pretending to know it all.
Correct.
Couple games left in this one. Seattle Mariners, San Francisco Giants, 60 degrees. Tommy Malone, Alex Cobb. I don't know, man. 60 degrees. The Giants have a decent implied total. What are your thoughts on this one? I don't really love it.
Just not a fun ballpark, first off, to go to for offense. It just really suppresses the runs. The one thing that does is look nice. Obviously, the Giants team total's up there. They're going against Malone, who probably does get some ownership because he's a 4K pitcher. But you look at the offense, it's like, who do you really want to play? Like, you can play Wilmer Flores, I think, JD Davis. It would be like a 3-man stack with some of these guys that hit left-handed pitchers well. Flores, JD Davis, and give me somebody else when their lineup comes out, like another right-handed bat towards the top of the order. 3-man complementary stack, but I just would never – I'm not doing a 5-man Giant stack today.
Yeah, no, and then Tommy Malone's in here, the lefty. Like, the dude might throw 70 pitches. He might throw 80. He's not going to go 100 plus. Once you get different arms in the bullpen, they go lefty, righty. Who knows what the Giants do when it comes to pinch hitters. So, no thank you. Cold, Pitchers Park. We talked a lot about these early games. That's where I'm flag planting a lot of my stuff. There is another game late, though. That'll be next. New York Mets, Arizona Diamondbacks. Cody Singai, Tommy Henry on the mound. Man, you see Senga at 10K. Then you go and look at the Diamondbacks team total. It's pretty good, and they're going to be low owned. Senga does struggle with walks. He can get wild. I like these Diamondbacks for that point of they're going to be like 2% owned. No one's playing them. Senga can get wild. If he gets wild, walks, big hits. Next thing you know, you got a 6 spot and you get the worst bullpen guys for the Mets. So I think the Diamondbacks are very interesting. One of my favorite low-owned stacks. Don't have the lineup out yet. At least I didn't see it. But low, the bottom of the order should have some value. Top of the order, you got to spend on some guys, studs like Corbin Carroll too. I like these D-backs a little bit against Senga for the ownership. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in on both sides of this one. Should be relatively low owned, especially if these lineups don't come out until a little bit later. But Senga's coming in at 10K, and I don't think he's necessarily going to get a lot of ownership, but he's a name at pitcher, and it might shy people away from playing the D-backs. I'm in for sure on some of these D-backs, and it is a lineup where we can play most of these guys. The catcher has some upside. Moreno, Jake McCarthy, like if he gets on base, he typically steals. You got Carroll at 6K. He's going to be super low on. The guy is an absolute stud. And on the D-backs, and I really like the Mets. Like their lineup against lefties, they have some guys that I really like. Pham, Alonso, Marte, the catcher Alvarez. So a lot of ways you can go about playing the Mets. I think they do come in pretty low owned and a lot of upside with pretty good price tags too. Pham 3.2. I think that stands out as a really good price tag. He'll be somewhere top of the order. Alonso's 5.2, which seems like a lot, but you start comparing them to some of these other top bats, like they're in the 6K range. So it is actually a little bit of a discount on a big power bat. Marte 3.7. So it's like a mid-tier price stack that I think has a lot of upside. So this is an offense game for me Gonna have exposure to both sides.
Yeah, definitely my favorite game that we've talked about in like the past 4 games out west. Pretty good total. I think both sides are going to be low owned. I think people load up early. So, yeah, don't mind that one bit. I prefer the D-back side slightly. If you had to pick, would you go Mets side?
Yeah, I think Mets. I like the Mets a little bit more, but definitely will be on the Diamondbacks too.
Yeah, love it. We got one game left on the slate. Let's try and get 110 likes. We got 89 likes right now. One game left. We'll get you the dong of the day. We'll say low-owned pitcher as well. We'll get on out of here. You guys can build your lineups again. Everything will be up on the site at SHIPITNation.com. Projections roll in as always. If you're not a member, $59 a month, $599 a year. PGA, MMA, MLB, NFL will be coming up. NBA when it gets here. Best ball as well. Everything on the site and then in the Discord as well. If you do join, make sure to get in the Discord too. Great community we have over here at SHIPITNation.com. Last game on the slate, you hinted at it a little earlier, I think, Hoop. Tell me if I'm wrong. You got Pittsburgh Pirates, Los Angeles Dodgers, Osvaldo Bido, and Bobby Miller on the mound. This Bido dude doesn't look too great. The Dodgers look very good. And it looks like you should get, again, we don't have the order yet, but it looks like there should be some value at the bottom of the order. Top half should be expensive. Should be some cheap bets down there as well. What are your thoughts, Pittsburgh and the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference. I mean, between the Dodgers and some of these other stacks that have the big team totals, there's going to be some cheap guys towards the bottom to like make it all work if you want to pair him with, Pablo Lopez or even Steele. Whereas in like the Braves lineup, we don't have any price breaks. We're going to have some cheap guys here. Jason Hayward, Peralta, 3.3 for Peralta, 2.7 for Hayward. Max Muncy's still underpriced at 4.7K. Then you get, Will Smith, Freeman, Betts. It's easier to stack this team, for that reason, where we can get the price breaks at the bottom, where some of these other lineups don't have that. When the lineup comes out, we're going to be able to play everyone. Another thing, these later lineups, when they get released late, the ownership just naturally comes down. So really like the Dodgers here tonight for all those reasons kind of mentioned. And then the Pirate side, definitely not going to be playing any bats there.
I love it. That is all 11 games. Usually there's a little more to talk about at pitcher. When you can cross off of the 22 arms, you can cross off 16 of them pretty easy. Yeah. That'll happen. Bats definitely, I think, are winning the slate for sure. Pitcher, Pablo Lopez in a tier of his own. After that, it'll be pretty spread out. Bats, pretty spread out, I think, as well, with a lot of options there. So going to get you a dong of the day. I'll start with myself. I'm going to Boston. I really do like Boston. Right there in the 2-hole, Masaka Yoshida, 4.8K. I think he goes deep against John Gray. I think Boston puts up a crooked number. Sitting right there in between. Devers will be popular. Duran will be popular. Again, I don't mind them. Yoshida there, platoon advantage, takes one deep on John Gray. Hoop, what you got? A little low-owned dong of the day. Low-ish.
Yeah, lowish. I'm going Joey Gallo. We talked about him batting 8th. Should really keep his ownership low. 3.3K. It's a cheap price tag. But the spot in the lineup is key here, where people don't like going down to the 8-hole. Joey Gallo hitting us a dong tonight.
Yeah, I had to say low-ish because my guy wasn't going to be very low. Yours definitely will be low, so I had to add in the low-ish part right there.
Ish is key.
Yoshida, Gallo, the dong right there. Give a little low-owned pitcher. We'll get on out of here, Hoop. I'm going Alex Cobb. You know that. Cool. Pitcher's Park. I think people either go Miller, Lugo in that range or go up. Of course, he's going to get some ownership. Grades out well at our tools over here at SHIPITNation.com. Give me a little Alex Cobb.
Yeah, it's hard to really find like a low-owned pitcher. I'm going to go lower than you would expect, okay? And it's going to be Steele, where a lot of people are going to start with Lopez. That just has to bring down the ownership on Steele. Yes, you can play both of them. There's no doubt about it. Steele's been really good in his last couple starts. A lot of people I don't think will pair both of them together. So I like Steele as a low-ish or lower-owned option than what we're expecting.
Absolutely. On this late, that definitely Pablo Lopez right in that range. I definitely agree with that call. That is all 11 games. Again, the one weather game to look at, Toronto and the White Sox. Other than that, looks like everything will play. Again, everything up on the site. And again, we do have the promo with Drafters that was released today. Deposit $20 up to $100, and they will match 100% of that. Head over to drafters.com, and we will have rankings. We will have everything we talk about in the Discord. We will start rolling out shows weekly for drafters as well, tailored to that. It's different than the other sites. Different, again, total scoring, just 20 rounds instead of like 18 underdog, stuff like that. There's little differences that you really need to know when you're drafting on all the sites. We got you covered over here at SHIPITNation.com. So again, SHIPIT is the promo code, $100 deposit, up 100% up to $100, 20 to 100. Make sure to use that. Check out that show I dropped earlier on SHIPIT Nation YouTube channel as well. Get in the Discord, head over to the site, $59 a month, $599 a year. I'm going to be going to look at that golf content. Hoop and Tam will have a big week in MMA as well. We'll be back tomorrow on this YouTube channel for Hoop on Titletown. Good luck, everybody.